Good morning, lovelies. ZoëTwoDots here with the full PvP kind of shakedown video for the Open Cup in Sydney. So if you guys saw the little vlog from yesterday, this is all of my battles. Fingers crossed it doesn't take too long to get through all of them. There were 6 battles. It came down to, for my own score, 3-3. So 3 wins and 3 losses. I'm going to try and talk you through what I was doing and thinking at the time of the battles, my choices, my matchups and things like that, and things that I might do going forward to change that up. So first of all, again, massive thank you to Go Stadium and the guys there for helping curate this team, create this team 2 days before the comp. So I think to have a 3 wins, 3 losses with only, I was going to say 2 days of practice, but less than 2 days of practice. Basically 6 practice battles before actually competing. But just their guidance and information was really, really helpful to have just a massive, jump in skill for understanding Open Cup. I've played every other Sylph Cup to date. I know I don't cover it that frequently on the channel. That is something I'm trying to change. I sadly lost the footage of my last 2 tournaments, and that's why you haven't seen much for a couple of months, really. But hey, if I can do it, if I can go 50% win-loss ratio, and you're looking to get into PvP too, hopefully this can be a place for you to start, and I can kind of direct you to the people that are the brains in the business to help build your teams for your cups and things like that. And quickly as well, just before we get into it too, if you are in Melbourne, there's going to be a PvP comp on the 26th. I'll put the links in the description as well, but Brandon Tan is going to be there too. So if you'd like to test your mettle in PvP, Melbourne squad, check out the link in the description. With that being said, let's jump into the first battle against Alric 18. So peeping his team there, and I'll have the teams on screen too. Looking back on this, I do notice that his team is significantly weak to my Azumarill, having a lot of ice and fairy type weaknesses, but I didn't really load it up that way. So jumping in, leading with Umbreon here, and he leads with Deoxys. For some reason, he does not switch out. This is a severely unfavorable matchup for him, but for whatever reason, honestly, if you have this matchup, Dark against your Deoxys, swap out immediately because Dark types are going to plow through your Deoxys. And as we can see here, taking him down completely. I've got a tiny bit of health left on my Umbreon, but that is pretty much Umbreon's role, is to get rid of the Deoxys. I can kind of sneak in one last charge move here on the Azumarill, and kind of either force him to spend a shield or take the hit, which he takes the hit. And then I load in with the Skarmory. Honestly, I should have picked Deoxys here because my Deoxys does have Thunderbolt, my Deoxys does have electric type moves, but just want to farm up a bit of energy here. I swap out, bring in the Deoxys, take the hit of Ice Beam on Deoxys because he can tank that, and then I'm trying to charge up to my Thunderbolt. He swaps in for Meganium. I'm going to go with Psycho Boost just to get another, either get him to spend his shield or get a fast charge move off. And again, I'm going to shield here too, just in cases. Frenzy Plant probably would have fainted my Deoxys and I've gotten very close to it. At this point now, I'm kind of locked in and cannot switch out, so having to feint the Deoxys there, going in with the charged up energy that I had on my Skarmory, and then it is Skarmory v Azumarill. I should be able to survive this Ice Beam and then be able to get off my Sky Attack as well, or Flash Cannon, sorry. I was charging up a little bit extra for Flash Cannon. Boom, done. First round in the bag. Second match, I lead Skarmory. I'm trying to think through my process of why specifically I did this. Maybe I was thinking he was going to, lead Deoxys or something like that. But realistically, this is the point where I should have swapped to Azumarill. Seeing on his team that he has got Medicham and Meganium, it would be weak to my Fairy and Ice on Azumarill, but here we are. So plowing through some Sky attacks with Skarmory against his Meganium. He swaps in for Skarmory, and we're going in with the mirror match now. So Skarm v Skarm, it's going to be the Skarmy Farmy. And just trying to build up a bit of energy. I kind of contemplate swapping there, but decide not to. And just try to pop off a couple of charge attacks. Try to get him to spend his last shield, or just make him cop a whole bunch of damage. So I think he shielded there, which was the visual glitch, but managed to get him to spend his last shield. And I'm going to bring in Deoxys. So I'm pretty sure here as well I do use the charge move, my electric charge move, which I probably didn't need to. He did just spend his charge attack. I should have just taken him down with the fast moves rather than wasting a charge attack, because then when he brought in Medicham, I would have had a fully charged up move to use against him. So Thunderbolt and Psychic here, not going to do super effective or much damage against Medicham, so it's just going to be chipping away until I can get in my next Pokemon. not shielding either of those there. I'm not going to waste the shield to keep Deoxys alive when I can't charge up another fast move against it. And also, well, Skarmory's just dead there. And also I want to save that final shield. So Power Up Punch would have absolutely obliterated my Umbreon there. Thankfully I did have that shield that I decided to save. Ooh, and I managed to just squeeze in a foul play, taking down the Medicham, but sadly it's not enough to then get through his remaining Meganium HP. So it is a loss on the second round. We got a win-loss in the first round. And then finally in the final matchup, I'm not a silly little duffer and I actually bring Azumarill with me, so goodness gracious. So I lead Skarmory, he leads Azumarill, and we are off and racing. I'm pretty sure at this point I just charge up a bit of energy, and then his Ice Beam comes in. I am going to use the Flash Cannon, again, either get a shield out of him or get a bit more damage. So with Azumarill, the Flash Cannon will do a bit more damage than Sky Attack if you're feeling greedy. But swapping in for Deoxys because I know my Thunderbolt is going to slap through his Azumarill, whether or not he shields or not, that is a big no. So taking a whole bunch of his health away with me. He brings in the Medicham, I'm locked in, I cannot swap out to my Azumarill to use fairy moves against it, so we're just going to have to chip away, chip away until I can swap or until I can feint that Medicham. I'm not going to shield it either. One tip from the Go Stadium guys was pretty much never, ever, just about never shield a first charge attack from a Medicham, because more than likely it is going to be Power Up Punch, and that first Power Up Punch is going to do like not that much damage, so no need to shield those bad boys. And then here, racing to the Ice Beam, when once again I probably should have just stayed and used my fast attacks rather than wasting a charge move, because he would have loaded in, I would have had a charge move to take down Azumarill, good to go, but that's something that I need to work on personally. I don't need to always spam out, here we go again, I don't need to spam out a charge move just because I have one ready. So again, I could have had one ready to go for this Skarmory when it rolled in, but now I have to wait, take a hit, and then be able to use my charge move. So top tip for all y'all, as an impatient person, PvP practice, especially if you have more prep for leading up for these comps and things as well, practice some patience and practice just kind of taking a hot second before just mashing your charge move. And as we can see here, it's going to bring it down to the wire because of that. I would have had a, probably 2 charge advantage on this matchup if it hadn't been as so. And there we go, my Skarmory going down, and that is a Ripperoni on my first match. So congratulations, Alric18, and Zoe, get your head in the game. It's round 2. Next up, we're going against Iggy Pop, and their team has got a variety of Pokemon that I have not versed before. So a lot of my practice for this cup was against very meta teams, and this one has, pretty much caught me off guard. I was trying to plan as best I could to verse this one, but, it's kind of a... Once you get into that like loop, but then what if they bring in this, what if I bring in that? Either way. I lead Azumarill, they lead Skarmory, and I'm just going to farm this bad boy up as much as I can for the charge moves. Not going to protect shield Azumarill as well. It is such a little tank. It can take a couple of hits pretty decently, and I'm fairly comfortable with using Azumarill. Kind of just trading charge moves back and forth here. When I do then swap into, I think that was a miss swap, to be honest. I think I was going to swap into my Deoxys to use my electric moves, but is what it is. I do manage to get him to spend one of his shields on a move that probably wouldn't have fainted. Leaf Blade probably, Frenzy Plant probably would have gotten him, but I am now wasting his charge move by not shielding that one, letting it faint out, bringing in my Deoxys. And if I'm not silly, there we go, we didn't use a charge move. So now I can use my Thunderbolt against his Dragonite and take a nice little chunk of damage down. Thunderbolt really does slap quite nicely. And one smart thing that I did do, swapping into Azumarill to take the hit for this next one. Ice Beam was ready to roll, Dragonite being super weak to Ice. Again, probably didn't need to use the charge move, but... after losing the last match, I'm kind of like wanting to get things knocked out and dead. Sadly here, my Azumarill not being super effective against Glalie. But my Deoxys coming in with the pre-charged up move to take it down. Deoxys' fast move of fighting will also be doing some super effective damage against Glalie. So winner on the first round there. Second round, I'm going Azumarill, Deoxys, Venusaur again. I'm leading Azumarill, he leads Skarmory once again. And it is off to the farming races, just pumping out some moves against each other. It's pretty much looking the same as the last matchup so far. But let's see if I actually used my brain on this one and did some different swaps and things like that. But swapping in for Deoxys this time, hey, there we go. That's a bit more preferential. Not going to shield the Sky attack because I know it won't faint me at this point. Thunderbolt either going to do a butt ton of damage. Yes, it does. He does not shield that. So bye-bye to his Skarmory. As you can see here, my fast attack's chipping down quite nicely on Glalie. And then also, blocked, sneaky. I'm gonna shield this as well because again, I know my fast move is gonna be doing a nice bit of damage, and if I can get off the Thunderbolt, which I can, it's gonna take down that last bit of damage for Glalie. Sceptile coming in, and I'm gonna go with Venusaur. Sceptile will be weak to my poison move Sludge Bomb, but once again, Little Miss Impatient goes for the Frenzy Plant, just trying to rush to get off a move where I should have just waited, shielded, and then just used the Sludge Bomb because it would have been down. I got a drift kind of glitch for a second there too, and you know, his Sceptile then able to take down my Venusaur, so big rip on my behalf. Thankfully, I had Ice Beam ready on Azumarill to go, and I can take down the second match, but once again, the lesson of the day, patience, kids. Sometimes you can take a few more hits. You can play it a bit safer and calmer if you just take your time. So winning that second overall match there with Iggy. Next up is TM Treasure. So people in their team here, I am going to be bringing in Umbreon, Deoxys, and Lantern. A lot of his stuff is going to be weak to my Deoxys, including the Lapras here, but I'm already leading with the Umbreon. He swaps into Umbreon as well for the mirror match, and I'm kind of at this point just like, I think I might just stay in, see how the mirror match plays out. If it ends up being us, fainting each other, it's going to be, both down a Pokemon essentially, but I don't want to risk swapping into something that might not be a favorable matchup because once again, I haven't had the most practice for this cup. I'm gonna stay in with my little Umbi. Once again, thank you Dom and Tao for my Umbreon with Last Resort. Getting him to spend a couple of his shields as well. I'm just refusing to shield any of these because they're not doing super effective damage. But the more shields I can get him to spend, the better advantage I am going to have overall. So chipping away. And I mean, look at me. I haven't shielded any of these moves. He's shielded one, and we're pretty much neck and neck for health anyway. So swapping into Lantern. I don't know why I did that. I probably should have just let the Umbreon faint, but I'm thinking maybe if he has his Deoxys in there, I want to keep that alive for that with the charge move ready. I don't really have anything specific to counter his Plusle. Venusaur is my best counter to Electrics on my current team. So I'm just going to try and pump out a whole bunch of charge moves. He's spent his second shield, and I know the Thunderbolt won't fully kill me here, so taking the risk and just trying to slap out a couple more charge moves to get rid of the Plusle. And Lapras comes in. I'm just going to let it faint my Lantern because I know I'm not going to get to another charge move. I'm not going to waste the swap, things like that. Thank you, William. That was a dangerous jump. Swapped into my Umbreon for some reason. I think just because the health is that low, I'm just going to let it faint out. But my Deoxys is what I really, really want here. The fast move, the fast fighting move is going to be super effective. And then also the Thunderbolt move is going to slap, but no real need to charge up that entire Thunderbolt because Psycho Boost will take out that last bit of health. And GG on the first round. Second round, I take the exact same Pokemon with me, leading the same way. I usually try to play it, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. For some reason, he swaps into Deoxys here, so this is very favorable for me. I know that Umbreon is weak to fighting, which his Deoxys probably has, but and the fact that he doesn't shield as well, super bonus for me. This is probably already, GG's winner chicken dinner. The fact that he didn't keep his Deoxys alive is going to be very favorable for me. Psycho Boost doing nothing to my Umbreon, and he is gone. I've got 3 Pokemon, and the Umbreon's still quite healthy. Again with the Plusle, I don't have anything direct to counter it, but it's not going to take too long to kind of like chip it down and get rid of it. Deciding not to shield here. Again, Umbreon's a fair bit of a tank, and I wish I had more time to practice with it to get more comfortable with the Umbreon too, because it is quite a fun Pokemon to use. And this tiny little slither of health there keeping his Plusle alive. I possibly showed my hand too early bringing in the Deoxys, but he has no other option. He only has the Lapras left, and Thunderbolt is going to clean up. So no shields for him. All the shields in the world for me. I don't really need to shield, but I'm going to because I'm not going to be cocky. I just want to play it safe. Bye-bye Lapras. Decisive win there. So thank you for the match, my good friend, and a good bit of practice against some different Pokemon as well. So my next battle partner ended up being Brandon Tan, which I was sweating pretty hard about until I saw his team, at which point I realized he probably wasn't going to go super hardcore, super competitive mode for this cup. Knowing him and like knowing the mind games of Brandon, I'm pretty much assuming, like guaranteeing that he is going to be bringing in the 3 cast forms. However, if he doesn't, the rest of his team is fairly weak to dark Pokemon, so just to play it safe, I'm going to lead with the Umbreon with the dark type moves, just in cases. But knowing him and knowing his sense of humor, I assume it's cast forms, and there's the first cast form, the rainy cast form coming in. So it's pretty much just going to be, I don't know what I'm doing, trying to get some charge moves up and trying to get some damage off until I can swap into Deoxys with the Thunderbolt, a bit more favourable in terms of typings if I can get these charge moves off. And he's still got both shields though. I'm down 1 shield, he's got both. But Thunderbolt coming in, it's going to be shielded and protected to keep that little dude alive. I then decide not to shield either. The Weather Ball still takes a nice little chunk, but nothing too crazy, thankfully. I probably could have waited to charge up another Thunderbolt, but it was pushing it, so Psycho Boost just to get it out of the way. I checked with Brendan as well because we were both experiencing a bit of lag there, but he said, don't worry, keep tapping, we're all good. And I think he was attacking me at that stage too. Getting a couple of Psycho Boosts off, and then bringing in the Azumarill. So I know that my Azumarill at least will be doing super effective damage. It's not going to receive as much damage. He brings in the Foggy cast form. I don't shield it. I'm going to tank this move basically. And then, switch glitch. Bring back in the Umbreon with Foul Play. I want to keep my Azumarill alive to then deal with his Sunny cast form later. Pretty much, again, just switching charge moves until I can hopefully get rid of his Foggy cast form. And this move should take it down, the final Foul Play to get rid of his Foggy boy. Okay, so Sunny cast form comes in. I still can't quite switch yet, but it's okay. I've still got plenty of charge moves. If it does faint my Umbreon, I can then swap into the optimal matchup, but we don't need to. It's all good. Bye-bye cast form. So first round done and dusted. It feels like not an official win against Brandon Tan. I really want him to use, like, next time I verse him, I want to use like a proper, like, meta-relevant team and just see how I can go. I pretty much decided to load up the same thing again. I've got the electric moves on Deoxys to take care of the rainy one. I've got the water move, water charge moves, and that to deal with the Sunny cast form. And then Umbreon, just in case he doesn't use all cast forms. But goodness, we know this man. Even though he said, I promise I'm going to use a proper team, he does not. So he goes all 3 cast forms again. But Umbreon being my safety net, just in case he hadn't. Brought in all the cast forms. So get him to spend 1 shield, and then I'm going to bring in my Umbreon. I'm going to bring in my Azumarill to tank this hit as a sneaky little, like, the 3rd shield strat to take the hit from Sunny cast form. He swaps out to, I'm going to use the Play Rough against his Watery Boy. And then I really hesitated here, but thankfully shielded, I forgot that it could learn Thunder. That would have destroyed my Azumarill as well. So just in time, just clutched out that shield. I was like, oh, maybe just in case. It was a very good choice that I did. And at this point, I'm going, oh, shoot. He's probably going to do it again. No, he jebaited out my shield with a Weather Ball. So Play Rough then coming in to finish it up, but a stressful little round if I hadn't have shielded those. I'm going to swap. Did I swap or did I glitch? No, I think I just decided not to swap there and take the hit as Azumarill. Get off my last charge move before Azumarill will faint. This is pretty much just going to be the sacrificial Pokemon. He's going to charge me out, and then I'm going to bring in Umbreon. 1 quick charge move from Umbreon should take it down pretty low or get rid of it entirely. Yep, gone, done and dusted. And then bringing in the last one of his, the Sunny cast form. I'm up 1 1/4 Pokemon to his 1 Pokemon. Plus I've got a charge move ready to go. So this is, once again, pretty much GG easy. Thank you very much, Brandon, for the matches. I am determined to verse you on equal footing one day. No silly cast form teams. I want a proper match. But a fun matchup nonetheless. Weather Ball slaps. Like, the cast forms are pretty cool, and probably if they were used like interspersed with a regular meta matchup, they could probably do a fair bit of damage, to be honest. Up next, we have got Paraplexy. I'm going to be taking in Deoxys, Azumarill, and Venusaur against his team. This is where the wheels kind of start falling off for me. So what are we going up here? I lead Deoxys, he leads Bastiodon. This is optimal for me, and he knows that he swaps immediately to Meganium. I swap to Venusaur because his Meganium will be weak to Sludge Bomb. He manages to get off the Frenzy Plant, which I do not shield. I get my Sludge Bomb happening, and he decides to shield smartly as well. And again, if I can try and squeeze out one more, I'm going to shield this second. Ooh, that was Sneaky Earthquake. Shield the second charge move there. See if I can get this Sludge Bomb off, but he will probably, yep, shields that one to keep himself safe. I do have the shield advantage at this point. And it's like one of those hit or miss kind of things. I decide to spend it as well, so I can get my Sludge Bomb off and feint his Meganium. Possibly a bad choice to have shielded it, but it is what it is. Swapping into Azumarill as well to try and deal with this Altaria. And now I'm locked in against Bastiodon with my Azumarill, and nothing that I have is going to be doing super effective or even mildly decent damage. He's going to be double resisting my water charge move. His Stone Edge is going to start plowing through my Azumarill as well. Fairy, going to do nothing. The only thing that I really have to counter Bastiodon on my team is Deoxys, but I don't want to... I probably should have at this point. I can't swap out because I'm basically locked in. The timer's still counting down. Bring in the Deoxys to finish it off with a nice little fighting punch. And then I'm pretty sure I set off that charge move before even seeing what they were bringing in. So kind of silly move on my part to not just see what was coming in or to wait and charge up that Thunderbolt potentially. And then Altaria going to come in with the Sky Attack and just decimate that last little bit of health on my Deoxys. Frenzy Plant, not going to be very effective. Again, I probably should have picked Sludge Bomb instead. Either way, I think that was decisively his. I'm going to actually be getting Zonic to help me with a bit of a team review or like a battles review coming up very, very soon, where he's going to say kind of what I could have done better in battle. So stay tuned for that as well. Zonic, fantastic at PvP and coaching and things like that. So I'm curious to have you guys in the comments as well. Let me know how I should have played some of these matches, because I'm always down for feedback and learning more. There's no point in doing all these, battles and matches and blah, and then being like, no, I played the best, like I did the best thing. I want to improve. So back into the match here. Azumarill using the, trying to get a nice move off against Meganium here. He shields, I shield. Come on, Ice Beam, can we do it? Super effective, but not super effective enough to slap down just that bit of extra health. Frenzy Plant here going to decimate, absolutely decimate. If you don't have Frenzy Plant on your Pokemon that can have it, oh boy, you need to invest. So Skarmory coming in, thankfully resisting the moves from Meganium. And then, it's the Bastiodon again. I pump out this Sky Attack where, again, I probably just should have saved it, swapped out to Deoxys immediately, and saved the Sky Attack for whatever's up after that. No Protect Shields though, so the wheels have fallen off. In that situation, I probably should have taken the charge move onto Skarmory, and then immediately after that swapped into Deoxys, so the Deoxys was safer, and then pumped out my fighting moves rather than having Deoxys going with no shields and have to just cop that move. And pretty much he is whittling down my health here. My feeble attempts to do some sort of damage against Bastiodon are, all for nothing basically. So G's to Paraplexy, absolutely crushed it. And my final battle is going to be against Amy Claire, and the wheels continue to fall off for me. It's about 9:30 p.m. at night, and I haven't eaten anything since about 11 a.m., but no excuses, Zoe. I am just staring at her. I'm sorry, Amy, I stared at your team for like a good 5 minutes being like, what are you going to bring in? What are you even weak to? Like, I don't really have anything for Melmetal except for my Deoxys, but then my Deoxys is also needed for this Pokemon. You got a lot of water types in there too. They got a lot of resistances, and I'm like, I wish I'd had more practice, but here we go. Deoxys versus Skarmory. Again, guys, I cannot emphasize enough having way more practice pre-cups. Holy dooly. So Thunderbolt going off. She decides not to shield, so I'm thinking, hey, maybe we've got this one. Maybe, you know, maybe we'll be feeling lucky. But just going to keep slapping on that Skarmory. Swap out to the Skarm v Skarm because I know it's going to be super ineffective. Basically using my Skarmory as a little meat shield for the rest of my team. Because I want to keep Deoxys alive in case she does have Melmetal. I realized that probably a bit late in the game. But charging up. And deciding to shield as well because once again last minute I'm like, wait a second, Thunderbolt's gonna hurt. Pumping off the flash cannon on her Lantern, not very effective. Again, I don't really have, like nothing my Skarmory has is going to be super effective against her, and now I've wasted both my shields and she has 2. So probably not the greatest pick or choice in my life. I could have swapped here as well, but I don't know why I didn't. I have no reasons for you. Going in with the Venusaur, which is at least going to be super effective. Sadly, have got the switch glitch, so I need to wait for her to bring in something because I can't now use my charge move. I have to either swap out, which I don't know why I did. I should have just waited for her to use a charge move against me. But a little bit frustrating there. Venusaur comes back in. I don't know what's happening, actually. It was a very buggy match. But popping back in the Venusaur, Frenzy, Plant, Spam to try and do a little bit of damage. Oh, sorry, I think my Deoxys must have fainted and then the Venusaur's come back in. But that's very unfortunate all round for me. But again, I don't want to be too fussy and be like, oh, rematch, you know, I had the switch glitch. It's fine. I'm here to have fun, not to take names, etc. So, GG, Amy. I think still, even if I didn't have the switch glitch, you probably still would have had me, to be honest. My Deoxys didn't have much left. I don't know. Here's what it is. Whoever's a professional, leave it in the comments down below. Should I have asked for a rematch because of the switch glitch? Next load up is Deoxys Be Skarmory. Again, I'm trying to debate some shields here, which she does not fall for. Probably could have just instead charged up for the Thunderbolt, which I'm doing now. Sending that one off, and we'll see if she shields that one too. No, she doesn't. Happy days. Once again, I'm thinking, I'm in the lead. Maybe I'm going to bounce back from this one. Absolutely not, I do not. So, Psycho Boost going off. I probably should have just waited, once again, patience, and charged up for the Thunderbolt. Swapping in for Azumarill, which is the worst possible choice, because that one has Thunderbolt. I don't even know why I did. Was this a miss switch? I don't know if I was thinking to switch in Venusaur. I think this one might have been a miss switch. But I wanted to swap in for Venusaur to do some super effective grass type damage. But it is what it is, we're here now. Got my Deoxys in the back to bring out against this Melmetal, but at this point it's probably taken that much damage that it's not going, and again, switch glitch again. So yeah, big old ripperoni on this one. Rock Slide gonna take out my Deoxys, and then Venusaur coming in to try and cobble together some form of defense ultimately in this, but look, it's already over at this point. 2 switch glitches in a row is kind of unfortunate. I, again, probably could have asked for a rematch because of those. Let me know if you guys think it would have made a difference in the comments. Again, if you are, like, you know, playing competitively and properly, please, you know, do call out when things like that happen, because you can have a rematch if you've been locked out of using a charge attack. Report it, because you can, and I recommend you screen record your matches as well, because that way you can then prove, like, hey, look, you can see I was locked out, I couldn't do my charge move, etc. But at this point it was already, yeah, as I said, 9-10 o'clock at night. A few other things like my egg hatches and my PvP battle with Brandon kind of stretched out the night a little bit longer than intended. I didn't want to make anyone stay there longer than what they needed to be or what they wanted to be. So GG's. That is 3 wins and 3 losses on my part, which I am happy with. My overall goal for the Open Cup was basically to not come dead last. So coming directly in the middle is fantastic by me, and I'm happy with that result. I'm gonna wrap this video up for you guys by playing the final round. So the final matchup, it was Justin had won 1 round. So then it was either going to be, you know, go to a tiebreaker or go to, you know, if Justin won again, he would take home the victory. So here is that final match. And let me know in the comments down below, guys, what would you like to see in terms of PvP content on my channel? Do you want some kind of like beginners team building tips? Do you just want to see my cups each month and how I did? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching as well. If you are new, please be sure to subscribe. Thank you to everyone who did leave a like as well. And if you'd like additional ways to support the channel, links for Patreon and merch are in the description down below. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful morning, noon, night, whatever time it is for you, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. So the final has come down to between Justin and TK. Justin's taken the first of the 3 matches. It's gonna be either a sneaky little tie, like I want to go down to 3. Like the best of 3 is always the most exciting, but we'll see how they go. It's been a crazy night. Look at all these good eggs. Everyone chilling, smashing out some PvP. Was it 50? 46 total competitors tonight, which has been insane. It's the most PvP I've ever done in like 1 session, so let's see who takes it home.
TKW is the top ranked player in New South Wales ACT.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. What is it in the world?
No pressure. Something like that, yeah.
Come on, Justin.
Good luck.
Swapped out. Venus over Skarmory.
Then we got a winner.
I think so.
Sick. Not looking for good TKW.
So we have a Skarmory farm going on, Justin.
Farmery.
Oh, oops.
Shielding.
Yeah, it was an accident. Trust me.
Justin staying in.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, good game.
Justin's got it.
Oh, wait. Oh, okay. Let's play good sport. For the sportsmanship.
Shield. Oh.
Good shield management won the game.
Yeah, good game.
Yeah,
Congratulations.